Everything looks okay, right? Just checking. Okay, game two. Game two. I hope you guys are ready. This is gonna be a squatcha, as they say, a long series. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough on both these players. I mean, the fatigue. If they go to 7 games, it's gonna become a fatiguing episode. Like will be something. Fatigue will be something they have to consider, right? Getting tired, because these games are you have to be clicking insanely fast. Ooh, interesting. Was he not able to put that inside the berry line? Is that... Am I crazy? Or could that fit? Oh, no, I think maybe these two interfere too much. I'm not sure. I think that fits, right? Squatcha. Cannot change speed. It's not locked. But... I didn't lock it. Right? Wait, can someone... Could someone double check me there? It definitely wasn't... It was definitely locked. Squatcha. Yeah, it was a squatcha. No, but this wasn't locked. I assure you guys, I didn't lock the speed. Whatever. Moving on. Both players starting with their berries. EmBe scouting out his gazelle just now. He's going to have some trouble getting this, as the first strike he started with is in the way of this gazelle push. EmBe with an extra gazelle patch to the side here, although it is along the wall. He might be better off pitting this, but we could be seeing him push that maybe up to that wood line. Late Stone Age. He does have access to this one elephant, and this gazelle push will be very straightforward and simple for him. Yeah, we already see Memo struggling with this gazelle push. It's going to be tough. These berries in the way. Yeah, forced some idle time on his berry guy. Not too much, though. But again, I mean, he has nowhere to chop trees right now. All of his trees are in the direction of these gazelle. Ooh. Gazelle's going on some runs. The villagers dropping off things. Oh, this is just getting messy. And that's nasty to see. EmBe already getting his elephant under his town center. Oh, man. Oh, man. So this is game 2, remember, of this series. Best of 7. The settings will remain the same, although hopefully we can go back to 2.0 after this, because with 1.5, it's better to have 2.0 for games that go to Bronze Age, just because all this early eco stuff, it just eats a lot of the time. And these players at this caliber, these are two of the best players in the world, right? They can handle 2.0 and still setting up a strong economy. They're not going to struggle with 2.0 with these gazelle, like any more than Memo did now. He would still just have his gazelle in around the same time. So 1.5, not really doing anything but slowing down the game process. I guess my bad there. I accidentally locked it. Ooh, I've been going for a really long lure here. He does get the first hits in though, but this force will potentially prove a little difficult. But it looks like he's just simply going to drop it right next to his storage pit here, which he could be doing. Or is he trying to get it all the way back home? Okay. Oh, he should just kill it there, right? You can just kill it there, you know. Interesting. Trying to get it all the way back to the town center. And it's gonna die. And ooh, that's close. Oh! Oh, that's an F. That's an F for me, guys. That's tragic. That's tragic. That's absolutely tragic. Seeing that elephant die like that. And, bam! Bam! Here it comes! Here comes the hit! Bam! And that elephant's dead in a really terrible spot. I mean, you can see it. You can just see it. That's just... Look at the walk. He's got 3 villagers on this. This is really going to hurt his time. Okay, so he's dropping a storage pit here. I guess it's okay. He adjusted his strategy to fit it, but, I mean, this is still pretty bad. Even if this was his town center, like, that's a really far elephant. Look at how much time these villagers spend walking. Even with the Assyrian movement speed bonus, you really don't want to be seeing that. I mean, even, like, 3 tiles away is sad. Ooh, taking some hits here. See, it's more like it, you know? EmBe maybe struggling with the lag. There could be a little bit of lag. Again, these players, opposite ends of the world. And yeah, pushing these gazelle up towards this forest in the late Stone Age to secure all the food he needs at this point. He could even lure this elephant if he wants, but he doesn't have to worry about that lion getting in the way. Memo has a lot of food out to the front of his base here, but that's basically no man's land. Sending some villas forward now, probably a berry patch. He will be spotting, though, the gazelle and the elephants, so we could be seeing a larger migration with all these villagers if he feels he needs the food. Oh, getting the double lure. Dun 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 dun. I love seeing double lures. It's always so good. It's so great that this is back. You just gotta appreciate how sad this game was when this was gone. Like, it's such a risky maneuver. And look at the elephants getting all jangled up, but one's still on point. Memo may be laughing about that one. One elephant doing a little dance, then heading home. Meanwhile, the other one still the main punch of this circus act here. In this best of 7. He will be getting this elephant home. To his town center, rather. To his home. Not to its home. That's not where that elephant wants to be. As the other one noticed the ruse and ran away to save its life. Maybe going for another double Ellie lure here. Will this one work, however? That's the question. Let's check the vill counts real quick. 26 to 25, but remember, no one lost a vill. Just kidding. Right? Yeah. Oh, Memo lost a vill, so that's the economy difference right there. Somehow Memo losing another, maybe a double lion? Maybe over here? I missed it. My bad, guys. I missed the vill going down. And now Memo getting a full double lure here. They're going to go the way. They're going to go the distance here. And that's going to be really strong for Memo's economy. This is going to make him feel very secure. Splitting his vills, getting the double lure. This is a little bit further away than he would want it to be, but at this stage of the game, that's probably alright. Although, considering his opponent dealt with a similarly distanced one, that might be the evening of the field that EmBe was looking for. Now, building the ranges out front to protect the granary. Memo will be both players building out front. No major hills to work with, although this cliff could be influential, but most of the lower side of this cliff is walled off by that forest. I don't really see any more hills to work. I mean, this massive chunk of a hill up there. But other than that, this hill north of EmBe's base, rather. Tiny hill here, but that's a continuation of the big and small tiny hill down here, but that's it's kind of far away from the action. This one will basically be unused unless the game goes late. We get an from Memo. Some lag coming in. I mean, that's international tournament again. Lag is just a part of the game. And Memo might be losing a vill here. Ooh, it was close. Let's see the clicks. 25, 26. Eco still just the one loss for Memo on either Lions or an Ellie lure that we missed. Wow, you can't get closer in terms of times there. Market and range up for both players. Could we be seeing similar times again? Probably. If anything, I'd have to guess a slightly faster time for EmBe. Although EmBe is going to be feeling the difference, though. Memo getting quite a few elephants under his town center. He's going to be feeling a little boon to his economy, as he won't need the farms as early, meaning he's going to be getting up more I was about to say stables, more archery ranges than his opponent. The score's neck and neck, but the fighting is about to begin, and that's where we're going to see the real difference here. The next big question, though, is who's got the fastest bronze time? And that's bronze from EmBe already. Wow. A 12:58 from EmBe. Incredibly fast. Memo lagging behind by just a few seconds at a 13:06. So 10-second differential. That's not going to make a difference. That could be what that could do is give him a slight advantage in getting across the map, but it looks like once again EmBe is going to be a range behind, although Memo not at the 5 he was last game, now at 4. EmBe from 4 to 3 across the games. Now building his 4th. Do we see a 5th from Memo? Okay, so Similar strategies as before. 5 ranges to 4. I misspoke earlier. I spoke too soon, rather. But the economy from EmBe is pretty set up. He's pretty established here. He's got the food income for a long time. These farms are a plentiful source of food. If slow, it is made up by their longevity. Meanwhile, Memo has no farms to speak of. He is still working with these elephants, but they have just now run dry. So if he's looking to make some farms, this is the moment to do it. Or is he finding some berries somewhere? Maybe. Maybe a little short on with the wheel upgrade now coming in for both players. So the first pump, we're going to be seeing, I would assume both players can fully pump here. So we're going to see 5 to 4. Once again, but remember last game, Memo lost his advantage very early on by pressuring a hill and not really realizing it by moving his army out a little carelessly. Ooh, and only 3 coming in for EmBe. Maybe a house. Maybe he got housed. Maybe lacking the wood. And 5 from Memo. Once again, favoring that larger army. And this time, Memo will not be caught unawares. Taking a bit of damage, but still with that big numbers advantage, taking 2 more shots. Getting them off too. 18 health on this first chariot archer. Which is critical. These early fights are really critical as to who's going to be able to set the momentum. In the last game, we saw that EmBe was really, even though he was a little behind in both army and eco for quite a while, he was able to set the momentum. He was able to set the pacing of the game. It was on his terms. But this time, Memo does have slightly more chariots to work with. And these chariots are coming in right on top of this granary, and he's going to be getting 2 villager kills, at least. Could be seeing a 3rd, with no losses. Whoa, what a strong hit. That's all you can say right there. It's still coming in for more. I mean, he doesn't even have his whole army here. Memo's got the numbers. These berries under duress, being pressured by EmBe. The dance coming in from both players. Once again, this is now at 1.5 speed because of technical issue. I'm going to say it's a technical issue because I don't think I made that mistake. But if it was me, oops. But I don't think it was me. So I'm going to move on. So both players getting that extra bit of time. At this stage of the game, players tend to like having it at 1.5 because they feel that they can micro a bit more. Memo sending some chariots out. But so is EmBe. Both players scouting the map, trying to find some weaknesses, some holes in the enemy's armor. And Memo could find one here. I mean, he's going to have to do some awkward house walls here to cover that gap entirely, but Memo will be avoiding that tactfully. And the house wall of Memo will be scouted out on the north side of his base as well. Ooh, EmBe with a really nice dance, catching a chariot. Once again, the kill loss here. It's going to be 3 to 1 for EmBe. Which is pretty strong with 2 villager advantage, maybe even 4 at this point. Yeah, timeline is pretty even though. Largest army is to Memo. Now, this house wall will be going down pretty quickly here. Memo forced to send a builder there. Ooh, not noticing this maybe in time. Oh, he's house walled his ranges away from this. He's going to have to delete a house here. He's fully house walled, but it's open now. Sending the hurt villager forward. We clicked on that bill earlier. It was at like 2 health. Memo, or EmBe rather, noticed immediately the villager and shot it. Memo respecting these 2 chariots here. Maybe a bit too much. Could have boned them pretty easily. No armor on those chariots. And it's just 2. Now, what is Memo? Memo's doing identical movements. But neither player is going to get much damage done with so few chariots. I mean, you can only afford so much at this stage of the game. But this hole is open. Very quite the mirror matchup here at this stage. Both players playing nearly identically. Still, largest army to Memo by just a little bit, though. I would assume, maybe even by just 1 chariot. At most 5. This is a big fight coming in the middle of the map. Both players feeling confident about this. Will be dancing it out, spreading the forces. No hills to work with here will mean that this is a pretty even exchange for the whole time, which means neither player is going to feel the need neither player has a location to retreat to that's particularly appealing, you know? Both players need to micro the fight rather than retreat to a terrain advantage, because neither player has one to work with in the vicinity. In fact, if you retreat too far, for EmBe, you go down a cliff, putting you at a severe disadvantage. Oh, losing some chariots here. Maybe evening up the kill loss. Yeah, 8-8 now. Even kill loss for both players. Ooh, two chariots. Ooh, just in time getting the house wall off. I barely saw that on the minimap, and then look at that. Here's a quick view of the minimap, if you will. If you would like to visualize it, as we see EmBe's army marching east across the map, back into the game. So it looked like there's about to be a fight, but EmBe retreating to this hill, Memo working his way over to cut him off, sending two little scouts out to pester this house wall and threaten it. I mean, with this hill to retreat behind, EmBe looks like he's going to be taking a strong fight here. Memo might just have the numbers. It's hard to say. Some awkward dance from EmBe. He will be losing a lot of his chariot attack time when he moves them to that side of the map. This house wall getting pestered quite a bit. Memo defending 5-on-4 against these chariots. Damage report. Looks like about maybe even HP, as 3 of these were full health before that fighting started. Now Memo, with a very large advantage in the middle of the map, could be pushing out with his military superiority, but maybe respecting the 9 economy advantage of EmBe and the production capacity that allows him 5-on-5 ranges. Still, even with EmBe's extra economy, no government center for either player just yet. We should be seeing that in the next 4 or 5 minutes. As they will transition into the boom style once their villager counts get a little bit higher, and a big fight in the middle of the map. Once again, the dance coming in once again from both players. It's hard to call. It's hard to judge. Just really have to pay attention to who's hitting what. And are you running the right chariots? I mean, that's a big part of these fights, right? And it looks like Memo's gonna take a victory here in the middle of the map, but does he have the numbers to push those ranges? I think not. And also, EmBe once again running 3 chariots across the map. Ooh, Memo getting a little bit of pepper damage in. And it looks like, unless he house walls this, EmBe is going to get similar damage on that side of the map. Right on the house wall. Ooh, and a government center coming up for Memo. Do we see a similar timing government center for EmBe? That's a pretty early government center, I would say. Although feeling quite comfortable maybe at home. Maybe no longer feeling as comfortable as he was when he built that government center, as now his wood line is pressured. He's going to be suffering quite a bit on that wood income. Forced to send a whole army home to deal with 3 chariots. Will alleviate the numbers disadvantage for now, giving EmBe some time to catch back up. Meanwhile, these 2 chariots still being an absolute nuisance in the economy of EmBe. Some wild woodlines here. These are pretty big at this stage. EmBe probably looking to get his government center up. All of his woodlines extremely inefficient. Probably looking to get a government center up in 3 town centers. Going up to 6 ranges, however. Getting that production advantage over Memo, who is on the town government center, has yet to build a town center, and is still on just 5 ranges. So that's the economy advantage still in favor of EmBe, but the timeline is even, as Memo has a larger army. A big engagement coming out in the middle of the map. Memo forced to retreat from this, although it looks like he had even numbers here. And coming in with more for a big concave here is going to force EmBe back here. Now, could Memo finally pressure this range? He's had the larger army for quite some time. We could be looking to see some lethal damage here. There is no hill to work with for EmBe this time around. He had those defensive hills, and he worked with them marvelously last game. This game, he doesn't have any to work with, and Memo just has the numbers. Memo pushing it in. He smells blood. He's attacking the dancing chariots, however, with some of his army. So he will lose out on quite a few arrows, many of those missing. Second town center coming in for Memo, and a second town center coming in for EmBe at the same-ish time. Now, fighting under the ranges is difficult when your army counts are pretty similar, because the reinforcements just come in quicker. And when you have like this number of chariots, the death count, you lose chariots faster than you make chariots. But this you saw the pump come out, and now Memo has to respect that, because now the numbers are even again. And Memo has to wait for his reinforcements. Oh, and he made a bunch of bowmen this time around. Both players making this mistake in 2 games. That's a haha moment for me. 19's in the chat. If you know what I'm saying, you should know what I'm saying. Ooh. Big hit there. That guy just going down. Memo feeling the pressure this time. Not feeling the pressure, applying the pressure this time around. But once again, ooh, EmBe going up to 7 ranges, and Memo still only on 5, although also pumping from the 2 town centers. And some of EmBe's units are idling. I mean, we're going to have this elaborate dance for quite some time. Unless one player takes a bad fight, this could continue for a while. Memo's going to need to keep pressuring his numbers advantage here. Economies are still just 7 ahead, but the military is in huge favor of... And oh, look at the kill lots. Holy shit. Oh, excuse my language. But holy guns, holy wow. Wow. 30 kill loss advantage for Memo. Look at this fight still. And the army size is so in favor of Memo at this stage of the game. Even with his 7 extra builds, EmBe was unable to produce. And that's going to push him off of his ranges, and that's... Now Memo can do what EmBe did last game, and now Memo can camp the ranges, and now anything that EmBe produces will get instantly shot as long as Memo is paying attention. If Memo's able to do it for just a little bit, which he's now doing, he's just going to maintain a huge army advantage, especially if he's able to keep his chariots alive in the process of doing so, in 5 to 6 ranges, 7 ranges even. Will not be enough, and there's the GG from EmBe. And that is game number 2, and oh boy, as I said before, we got ourselves a squatcher. We got ourselves a squatcher. It's gonna be a doozy. It's gonna be a doozy. We're up to 1-1 in this best of 7. Shall I remind you? This is a best of 7. I mean, you couldn't ask for better games than this. You could not ask for better games than that. This whole series is going to be crazy. Alright. Excuse me while I set up the scoreboard and take a sip. But oh boy, are these games looking